Hey everybody, I'm trying to make another video. My first video didn't really get a lot of play. It's okay, I understand. It's kind of a long video. I'm trying to get more to the point today about where I'm at in my story. As of right now, I'm in a desperate situation. It's very hard for me to make videos. I'm a very quiet person, and I do that for my own reasons so that I can kind of limit the amount of bullshit that I have to put up with in life. By the way, these videos are just to explain my story, my situation, to try to get someone to help me in various ways with understanding laws and funding. It's very difficult for me to work. I try to find work. I'm more than happy to have a job, but it's just very hard right now for a lot of reasons. Just, I guess you have to do disclaimers or something in your videos, so mine is just a plea for help, and not meant for anybody to take it as advice or anything like that. So anyway, I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. I was going to go outside and do a video. It's really pretty outside, but it's just super, super bright and hot right now in Chicago. So I'm just going to do it inside. It has to do with my child, Paul, who is 10 years old now. This is the second birthday in a row that I haven't been able to see him or talk to him. He was taken by DCFS of Cook County. I'm going to start making several videos and uploading videos with just paperwork so that you can actually look at my paperwork and see that what I'm saying is, you can verify it. I am in a court case against these people. I have never signed anything for them. I've never allowed them in my house. I did not allow them to just take my son away. I waited until I received a letter to come to court. And that was February 13th of 2018. They had sent me out a letter for the second time. So it was a revenge tactic. I'll get into all of that later, but at this point in time, I just want to focus on Paul. This is my main focus. This is a desperate plea. My email address is paultracy3@gmail.com. It's small. Everything is small letters, all one word, paultracy3@gmail.com, with just any kind of advice. Real advice, please. Real advice. Not things that I could find on my own. You have to understand, when these people come at you, they flip-flop the law to their advantage in every aspect. You have no real representation. Your lawyer might attempt to make a stand on certain things. It's not going to mean very much. I went to court that day. They had brought my ex around, someone who's not the biological father of my child, which you could clearly see that, based on that man's race and the race of my child. But they use that to their advantage. The state will use any hobo that comes forward and tries to make a claim on you, or any hoe that comes forward and tries to make a claim against you about the child, to their advantage. That's how they make their money, one way or the other. Let's not joke around about that. So, at this point in time, my son has been placed into a hospital. Sorry for any background noise that comes through. He's been placed in a hospital under psychiatric evaluation. Please keep in mind, I have not seen my child since March of this year. This is 2019. They've had my child for a year and a half. They've done several things that are completely illegal to a human rights situation. So please don't take me the wrong way, because I love all children, but this is bullshit. Where people are so concerned about people that aren't even supposed to be here. Outraged at the way those children are treated, right? Don't separate the families. What the fuck do you think DCFS is for? Separating your family. You make more money per person if it's all broken, because then you got a reason to help them fix it. It's not a hard thing to understand. They're not legitimate. The only reason they're keeping Paul, and this is no shit, at this point in time, because they were unable to really make any other foundations on any of the claims that they still try to make against me. They try to say that I'm an incompetent person, that I'm insane, that, I'm mentally unqualified to take care of my child, all kinds of things about me. And that's just a few things. We won't even get into all the really nasty stuff they've tried to say about me. I have no criminal background history at all. Ta-da! I was 35 when I had my first child, my only child. My only child. They took my only son. And I'm so sick of this shit about, all you fucking bitches are so stupid. You're so concerned with your right to kill a baby. You fucking morons. Where are all the bitches that are going to stand up for the women that really want their children, that love their babies? Where's my fucking rights as a woman, as a single woman? Why don't I have the right to live quietly and raise one fucking baby? Oh, because I suffered briefly in life at the hands of somebody that no one will help me with, that people brought to court to use against me, against my child. No matter how many times I told people that that person tried to harm us, kill us, don't let my son have to spend time alone with that person. They have done such dirty shit to my son. By the way, in case all of y'all don't fucking know it, they're the biggest child trafficking organization, federally funded, government protected. I mean, in every fucking aspect. They have their own FOIA. It doesn't matter how much you've begged and pleaded for documents, that even if they give you documents, the paperwork is going to be so smudged that you can't really make heads or tails of it. They leave your child alone with person after person after person after person. It's just being handed off. Nobody really knows anybody. They couldn't give me the break. I've never signed anything. Like I said, I don't do shit for them. I don't owe them things. They stole my property. And when I start referring to things as my property, I'm talking about my child. My child is my fucking property. Yes, he is. 100 fucking %. He came out of me. I created that. That's 100% mine. A friend of mine helped me create my child. I've never been married, which is another thing they hate about me, because they have no other person to use against me. So therefore the state had to take over as the theoretical spouse that hates you so much. And that's exactly what they do to single people. I know what they do to couples. I've talked to many people on the bus. You meet people in similar situation whose child has been taken for bogus reasons. So they say my child missed 25 days of school, and that's why they took him. Not that I'm neglectful in any way, but the fact that he missed 25 days of school was neglectful, which he didn't miss 25 days of school. He didn't. I had unenrolled him from that school the month or so before we went to court. They came to my house several times, DCFS did, trying to kick in the door. By the way, the local police are just kind of like their body shield, okay? DCFS has its own police force. Yes, they do. DCPD. DCPD came 4 bitches deep to my door the week before we went to court with guns drawn. I'm seeing this out my window. Doors are locked. They couldn't kick my door in. My landlord's not stupid. He knows we need good doors. Let's just say that. We live in Chicago, and it doesn't matter where you live in Chicago. You need a good door. You don't need a door that's just going to get kicked in, okay? So, needless to say, these 4 fat bitches couldn't kick in my door. So, we just hid out and waited for them to leave. But, yes, we survived a lot of harassment before and after and since and now. I'm going to put a video up of just the phone messages between me and these people. Some of the phone conversations, some of the messages they left me. They have my child in a hospital right now. I can't say that enough. They won't let me see him. The dumb bitch, yes, I cuss. I don't care. It's called freedom of speech. You don't have to, you're not going to tell me what words to use in this situation. So I'm sorry if I offend anyone. I'm not trying to offend anyone. But, you know, I wasn't just, we survived a lot. Okay? And, they've tried to use everything against us in every possible way. They've come to jobs. I've lost jobs because of these people harassing me. Their whole thing is to try to get someone else to call the cops on you, so that then it becomes a trail of the police being called on you. There's all kinds of tactics. They use everyone from the janitor to the security guard. Just any amount of conversation they can have with you, any tidbit that they can get from you, about you, a family member, anything. They're going to use it against you. Whatever you say and do can be held against you. And it will be fucking held against you with DCFS. No shit. They believe that they're owed a certain amount of children. They're owed that. Their whole function is to serve as child trafficking through the funneling of adoption. Okay? This dumb bitch that had my child for the first year in foster care started fucking with him mentally. She started having him call her mom. She took him to California. Excuse me if I get off track in my story. Last November, the first Thanksgiving that he was away, to California, to Los Angeles, apparently to take him to a quote-unquote wedding, okay? That I didn't even know about until he got back and told me that he took a ride on an airplane. They freaked the fuck out when he opened his mouth and said he took a ride on an airplane, because they wouldn't have any intentions of telling me anything. They never have any intentions of telling you anything. They take your child to the doctor. They took mine to the doctor. He came in with a big ass fucking hole in his arm one day from a needle. I don't know what the shot was. No one will give me any information. They trafficked him to LA. Can I say that again? Let me tell you how that works. The foster parent can simply call up the caseworker and say, hey, I need to go out of town. I got to take this little brat with me, right? Because that's really how this goes down. No, they don't care about any child. And if you work for that agency and you're not a demon, you need to quit that job. I'm just saying. Back to my story. So how this works is DCFS is under the court assumption that they're never going to disobey anyone's rights as human beings, and that's all they do. But because of that, and I'll bring that paperwork up as well, you can find that out yourself. When you really start to look in and investigate what it takes to go up against DCFS, you realize these people are protected in every way. They have their own attorney, Inspector General. Inspector General is someone that in your city, your county, that type of thing, if you have a problem in a certain situation, you're supposed to be able to go to your Inspector General and give them a list of the problems, and they're supposed to look into that. Well, the Inspector General, the DCFS people have their own Inspector General. They have their own FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. They are protected from bottom to top. They have the assumption, now I don't know of any other situation with an agency that is this goddamn protected. And I'm talking about the FBI wasn't that protected. I mean, DOJ is not that protected. CIA is not even that protected anymore. But DCFS is super locked down. I think it's time we pick that lock, Mr. President. My son needs to come home. Everyone makes money off poor people. Please don't fool yourself by thinking that poor people are living high and mighty off their goddamn food stamps and housing voucher. Are you goddamn crazy? Why do you think they give us shit? Which, by the way, I didn't even start using my shit until after I was in a coma in the hospital, where during the coma situation I was, that's another part of the story, but brutally mistreated by professional doctors under Obamacare. Who would have fucking guessed socialized medicine would be so evil as it is? Evil. You think they give a fuck about us? You think they're, oh, come on in, let's fix all your shit? Get the fuck out of here. Please wake up. My child is gone. He's in a hospital for no fucking reason. He doesn't get to enjoy the sunshine anymore. He doesn't get to get a new puppy and walk at the goddamn park. He doesn't get any of that shit. He gets, a child attorney that represents the state. And by the way, in case you don't know, in a court situation, the child attorney is actually the head wrangler over the DCFS bitches. Yes, he does. He ushers them in private meetings. The child attorney tells the DCFS bitches to push you, to get rid of you. Convince the court at all cost. Lie. Perjure yourself. And they did. And I made the statement in court that they did right then and there that day. And I hope to God that everything I ever said in court is all in the paperwork, because I remember what I said in court. And I need money to get these documents. I need money to fucking eat. I live in a sanctuary city. That's a whole nother fucking issue. I don't even want to get into the politics of that. I'm hungry. I'm an American. If you happen to come down to Albany and Ogden, near the park, I usually am down there panhandling when I don't have a fucking job. By the way, I don't always get my food stamps because these fucking whores keep calling up the goddamn food stamp office and telling them shit like I'm trying to commit fraud. I'm not committing no fucking fraud. I had the baby taken off my food stamp card the same fucking week they took him from me. Every time I go to the food stamp office, it's the address to the old shelter, which is part of the story, which is the bitches I have the most problem with. Because I moved out of a shelter into my own place and started to get things rolling for us. And they hated on us so badly because we live on the same street as the same fucking shelter called Primo Shelter. Primo. They have 3 locations in Chicago. They got one in the same area that I live in, which is adjacent to what's called Little Village. I don't care anymore. All my real enemies know exactly where to fucking find me. What the fuck am I afraid of anymore? For the longest time, they were doing shit to my baby, and I wouldn't make videos. Because they were really doing shit to my baby. Evil, evil, evil fucking shit they've done to my child. And like I said, the only reason they keep him is because they say that he missed 25 days of school. That he didn't fucking miss. I had unenrolled him at that school. And during that time, these people had started following us. Yes, they follow you. Believe me. They show up at the grocery store, the bank, thrift store, anywhere that they think they can find you. And we're poor people, so they know that we have a limited area that we're going to be in, just like fucking animals. We only got so many square miles of shit where we can walk and catch a bus, if we can afford to catch the bus. Otherwise, we're fucking walking everywhere. Even when I panhandle for money, I'm having to compete with people that really I shouldn't be having to compete with. Let's just say it like that. I don't mean people harm, but if you come in my yard, I'm going to fuck you up. There's too many people in my yard now. Some of y'all got to fucking go. I don't give a shit if you were born here or not. I don't care what color you are. If you don't have the right attitude anymore, I just don't want you around me. If you're not someone that's out to try to love, and I don't mean the way that they throw around that word, I mean the original Christian meaning for the word love. Love is an action, it's an emotion, it's a dedication that you make in life. Not to just any one person, but to the way you live your fucking life. There are a set of laws that you have to abide by to actually be living a life of love. It's in Corinthians in the Bible. It's why I named my son Paul. Check it out. It's actually the only part of the Bible that I really solidly know is that one fucking letter he wrote about love. In chapter 13. But I love my child. I loved my child before he was ever born. I thought about him. They can move your children around the country without court permission. Like I said, that's my biggest thing is to just let everybody know that, because I've tried to put it on Twitter just to take a survey of how many people just knew that one simple fact of that's how they're trafficking the children through DCFS. And they're child swapping. That's what I call it. You know, they've railroaded me to a point now where during the trial I got railroaded, so I tried to appeal it. That got shut down pretty quickly. I only talked to this appeal lawyer one time on the phone. The man never met me in person. He told me point blank that he's just there to read through paperwork, and he pretty much read through some of the paperwork, I guess, and made the decision to side with the judge, which the judge is is, like I said, now it's gotten down to where they tried to accuse me of everything. You can't even imagine. They had people on the stand saying really crazy, 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 crazy stuff. I mean, I can be a nut in private when I'm joking around with people. And that's the whole thing, is a lot of what they tried to say against me was exactly that. Were conversations where I was making jokes and observations and just really trying to see, fill out another person in a conversation. Like, that's a human thing to do. So, they get you for being human in every way possible. They put my son in this, so after he spent the first year with the one woman, she dropped him like a hot potato. Um, there are people in that organization that are foster parents that are simply there to move children around. And I mean, house them comfortably for a while, make them feel secure mentally, change them emotionally, and then do some really shocking things to them. If the foster parent does show up in court, you'll know it'll be one of the people that's going to be sitting on the side of the courtroom with the child lawyer. And the DCFS people. They're all a gang. They're not there to help you in any way. They don't care about your child. I cannot stress that enough to you. I don't care anymore. Let me tell you something. When everyone else had their food stamps taken away, and I mean everyone, I can't quite remember how many months ago that was, I went to court during that time. And I was really curious to know, because you have to keep in mind, when everyone else loses everything, foster parents don't lose anything at all. They work for DCFS. They're not there. Look, I'm not saying they're all evil, but I know a majority of them fucking are. That's just the way it is. That's how they make their money. Please pay attention to the money. Okay? Because if you're going to get upset at one person for doing something, take a look at what part are you playing in that. Okay? Like, look at the motivation behind what it is that people are doing. What is it that really is motivating them? Okay. I'm going to try to keep this at 30 minutes. My son's in desperate need of some legal advice. Help. I need to get more documents. I don't have any money at all. I'm going out right now to Panhandle to try to get a sandwich. Literally. Please help me. I have a GoFundMe. It's GoFundMe. Tracy Smith. Capital T R A C I. Capital S. And then MITH. The other letters are, lowercase. But the T and the S are capital. So it's GoFundMe, Tracy Smith, GivePaulBack. GivePaulBack, all one word, and capitalize the beginning of each word. So capital G, capital P, capital B. GivePaulBack. Please GoFundMe, even if it's just $1. I, like, this week alone, have to write a letter this week by the 19th and get it notarized, which will cost somewhere between, I don't know, $5 and $20, depending on how many pages it is and where I go and where I can find a notary. So it's all kinds of little things like that I have to literally panhandle to come up for money when I can't find work. And I mean, there's plenty of places around here with now hiring signs out, and I go in and I don't speak this, this other language, or, they might give me a job for a few days, but find out that I'm just there to work type of things go on. I'm hungry. I really need to see my baby. I really need someone in Washington. I need people to really pay attention to this shit. Because Cook County had no reason to take my baby. There's no one else with any claim on him but Cook County. And he desperately needs to see me and talk to me. And they won't let me see him or talk to him. They just called me and told me he was hospitalized. And then the bitch had the nerve to tell me that she told the hospital not to let me come around. So you'll hear that conversation later. Please go fund me, Tracy Smith, GivePaulBack. And email me, paultracy3@gmail.com. And here on YouTube, Tracy Smith, GivePaulBack. I love you, Paul.